Love and greetings to you. This video is for both men and women. If you're here for the first time, then be prepared to hear a very different approach to marriage entirely. And I urge you to have an open mind to this, because it's not Western psychological. It's oriented towards achieving the higher gifts of marriage. I've been doing this since 2001. I used to be a divorce mediator, and I got into this, I won't say reluctantly, but a little bit differently. I was a divorce mediator in San Diego, so it was very lucrative. But when a couple asked me to help them save their marriage instead of distribute their wealth and make sure the kids were right and all of that, I said, let me look into it. And I discovered something about marriage that sort of blew my mind. I'm Paul Friedman, by the way, and the topic is best ways to resolve conflict in marriage. So imagine that I handed you the keys to a helicopter, a really top of the line, big or small, doesn't matter, and you got into it. You wouldn't even know how to start it, probably, much less drive it. And if you figured out some things, you could kill yourself pretty quickly. Now, there's nothing wrong with helicopters. They're a real elegant design. They're really made to achieve flight in a very safe and positive way. Now, we're not taught this, but if you think about it, marriage is similar but better in that it's designed also to deliver certain benefits. Those benefits are, and this is something no one discusses, and we'll know this intuitively, you'll know I'm correct as soon as I tell you, but it's meant to deliver happiness, first of all, and love. Now, you could reverse those, it doesn't make any difference. We all pretty much get married because we fall in love. And we're not taught a lot of things that go around marriage that are important to marriage. For instance, well, who designed that marriage is God, and this is not going to be a preachy thing. I'm just laying it out there. No human being ever could have come up with this. If a human being did, it would be strictly business. And we're souls. This is really important. You're a soul, I'm a soul, your wife or husband are souls, hence the term soulmate. And the reason why that is so important, and it's important to this topic, is because you have a mind, you have a body, but you're meant to connect. The word marriage should mean union, right? Union, connection, not between us necessarily as personalities, although that's not a bad thing when our personalities dovetail, but we're supposed to connect on the higher level of who we are, which is souls. Where is love? Love is not an emotion. You see, this is really where we go wrong, where we identify love as an emotion. Love is it. It's the highest state of consciousness, you might say. We experience love at various times. Like if you go to a wedding, or if you're looking at your kids sleeping and your heart just opens up, that's love. That's the real love, where it supersedes anything and everything going on in your head. I can't tell you, at the Marriage Foundation, which is what I began with a fellow divorce mediator in like 2009. He stayed as a divorce mediator, but he said it was really important, and he actually funded the Marriage Foundation in the beginning. And what we teach is vital. And we've saved, since we began, literally thousands of marriages, and we do it one individual at a time. We don't do couples, we do individuals, because that's the right way. And so I know what I'm telling you is dead on accurate. And what I've done is I've moved the experience of marriage and how to operate your marriage to make it mechanical, so you know exactly what to do, and it's all inner work, which is what brings us back to the topic of best ways to resolve conflict in marriage. It was important for me to give you this pre-talk because conflicts never occur between souls. Souls know love, they know joy, they know consciousness and wisdom. They don't know conflict. Conflict is something that occurs on the material plane, the mundane plane, where someone has an idea in the mind and the other has a contrary idea, a conflicting idea, and rather than discuss from a point of love, and now I'm giving you a hint of best ways to resolve conflict, what we do is we get sucked into this. We give it a reality. If you think about the arguments that you've had in your marriage, even yesterday, you can't remember them. 99% of the time, you forget what you fought about almost immediately. Why? Because it's going to happen that you're not going to agree on everything. That's just life. So the best way to resolve conflict in marriage is to not put yourself into the middle of the conflict, but lift yourself individually. You don't have to do it together. Lift yourself above the conflict by stopping your mind from going down that train of thoughts about what you disagree with, and bring your mind up to, I love him, I love her. Whatever they want is okay. You know, people go, yeah, but what about boundaries? What about this? What about that? And this is the problem with Western psychology getting involved in marriage. Those things just don't matter. None of us are perfect. None of us know for sure what we absolutely have to do. So it's usually one opinion that comes up from the mind versus another opinion which comes up from the mind. And in truth, neither opinion is perfect because the world is ever changing. It's just constantly in flux. And so what is a big issue that is causing a conflict isn't going to even be there real soon. So the best way is just say, okay, whatever you want. Now, I'm not talking about a kid's running in front of the car and you reach over to steer the wheel away, but I am talking about virtually everything else. Virtually everything else. Just as soon as your mind, think about conflict as yours, not ours, just yours. Not theirs, although they're engaged too, just yours. Because you can only take responsibility for your own mind. We don't have the power, nor should we want the power, to control our spouse's mind or their way of thinking. They have this precious gift called free will, given by God, just like you have yours, and you're not going to change their mind. Okay? You won't change their mind, no matter how much you try to work it out. You will, I guarantee you, cannot change your partner's mind any more than you could change your mind. So rise above it. Disengage from the conflict du jour and put your mind into love. And just as a practical matter, just say, okay, you know what? You might be right, you might be wrong, I might be right, I might be wrong, but I love you. I'm going to go along with you no matter what. And you drive. It's what we're talking about. When we're talking about these issues, these topics, it's I'm driving or you're driving. When we agree, it's not as often as people would like it to be. Most people, when they agree, are merely giving in. I'm not talking about giving in. I'm not talking about sacrificing your will. I'm talking about not giving a darn about what the mundane has to offer. Focus instead on the love. So the best ways to resolve conflict in marriage is, number one, stay out of conflict. Number 2, as soon as you see you're in a conflicted situation, pull yourself out. Number 3, more important than 1 and 2, is start focusing on the love you feel for your spouse. You see, this is how to live your marriage. And some people will argue. I get it all the time. Yeah, what if? You know, when I used to work with people in sessions, which I did for 8 years before we started the foundation and put the courses online, is I'd get the what ifs. And I came up with this thing. I said, okay, here come the what if birds, and they're going to land on the branch and they're going to start squawking at you. Just forget them. Forget the what ifs. Choose between love or conflict, because it's that binary a choice. It's that clear-cut a choice. You do not have to protect your boundaries. You don't have to. You lose nothing by allowing your partner to get their way, if you want to put it in those terms. I think of it this way. I think, who cares? Now, I've got so much life experience compared to my wife, because I was involved in many businesses and all these kind of mundane things, and she'll come up with an idea and it won't fit in with my real world thinking, but I just go, all right, we'll do it your way, because it doesn't matter, and it's never proven to matter. And that's the good news here for those of you with the what if birds. Just let it go. No conflict. Now, instead of conflict, I talked about replacing it with love, because this is what we really want. Let's make that the real topic of this video. I want happiness and love in my marriage. Yes, you should have it. In order to, just don't undermine the happiness and love. And instead use your will, your free will, and your free volition to infuse your love into your marriage. Infuse your inner joy into your marriage. Now, if you'd like to be a TMF marriage counselors, because we're training you now, we have online course, we'd love to have you join us. If you just want to take the course for men or the course for women, go to our website, and go to our website anyway, because you could get the 10 top do's and don'ts. And before you do that, in fact, I should have asked you before, like the video. It helps us reach more people. And also, please subscribe. That also helps us reach more people, because the teachings that I discovered are invaluable. It's just going to change the world. God bless you. Thank you for stopping by. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Yeah, I can see you. I'm joking. But I'd love to have you come by again. God bless you. Take care and thank you.